So hello, welcome to Yvonne Cookson, who I have known probably for about over a year now. And we were just talking actually before we came on the call. You are the second person only to have been on this podcast. Well, the only person to have been on this podcast twice. So very happy to have you back. The first time we were talking about mindfulness, and we were co-authors on a book through our mindfulness teacher, Shamash Aladina, and it was a #1 Amazon, of course, bestseller, Mindfulness for Challenging Times. And you wrote about your chapter.
Yeah, well, my chapter was about working from home. At that time, I owned a business and I had quite a lot of staff that were working from home. So it was really relevant to my life at that point in time.
It's amazing, isn't it? And now here we are both now working from home, and you know, we're doing what we're doing. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get Yvonne on the podcast is because we're talking about crypto, and we're talking particularly crypto, and forgive me, but women as well. So one of the big fears around divorce and being a single parent and financial settlements and costs and all that stuff that goes into divorce is really, money is at the heart of it. And with money comes, so often, sadly, comes conflict and the impact as well on our lives and our children's lives. So it's really, really especially important for us to talk about it. And I feel like if we don't talk about money, there's always going to be that element of shame as well. And we're going to be covering all of this in the podcast. So Yvonne, do you want to talk to me about your journey into crypto? And then I'm going to share it obviously a little bit along the way and with you as well. But I'd love to hear your thing and introduce to our listeners, you as a female, as a divorcee, and your journey into crypto.
Yeah, so my journey started around 15 months ago, sort of when COVID started. My partner was doing crypto and doing Forex trading at the time. And I was that skeptical person, didn't really want to be involved in it, but sort of got a little bit involved. Couldn't really get my head around it, if I'm honest.
Because you're an accountant, aren't you? That's your trade.
I actually sold my accountancy business last year, but I was an accountant for over 20 years. So I think because of the way you're sort of preconditioned as an accountant, none of it made sense, and it was too good to be true. And also in the very early days, I was scammed a couple of times and lost quite a lot of money. So obviously, once bitten, twice shy.
Totally.
But then I sort of made a decision that I could see lots of people making lots of money trading in crypto and trading in Forex. And I had to sort of live that journey myself before I started promoting it to anybody else. So over the last 15 months, I have been trading Forex, which is very, very easy. You put your money in and they do it all for you, and you earn some really big money. And with those profits that I've made from that, I've built up quite a big portfolio now. I have over 36 currencies now. And I've bought some amazing currencies that have made me some really, really big money. So for me now, it's about helping others to do the same as what I've done, but to do it safely and securely. And I think that's where I initially went wrong in the beginning. I didn't really know anybody that I could trust enough to get into it and to help me on my journey. So it was a case of me having to do that learning curve completely on my own. But in a sense, I'm quite glad I've done that. Because I've learned a lot and I've researched a lot, and I've found some amazing platforms for other people to use. And there's only 4% of investments in the whole of the UK that are in crypto, and it's a billion pound industry. So there's so much money to go around,
and we're kind of on the cold face of it. So it's a very exciting time. And like you, I wasn't scammed by the person who introduced me in 2017, but it was the big USI tech that was the big, that's what kind of really gave crypto its bad name for a really long time. And a lot of people lost a lot of money. And I remember investing, I think it was about $300 or something. And actually, that for me at the time was quite big, because I was waiting for my house sale money to come through. And I was kind of like, getting by. And I lost that. And I kind of forgot about it. And I think you and I started talking at the end of 2019 because of the mindfulness and the book and everything. And you mentioned it and we had a chat. And on the back of that, I opened up one of these crypto wallets, which is basically like, if think of like a wallet you take to the shop or your purse or whatever. And I put £2 in there, and I looked at it about a month ago, and there was like 200 quid in there on £2. I was like, oh my god, this is insane. And I was kind of part of me thinking, oh damn, why didn't I put like even like 20 quid in, would have been better. But anyway, but it was like a sign for me that this market is kind of not going away, and you know, and with safety and with caution and with being sensible, you know, and it's a bit like going into a sweetie shop and going, oh my God, I can do this, 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 and this, and this. Like I have to kind of check myself and go, right, you know, this is still a market, you know, we live uncertain times, but the returns are huge.
The returns are huge.
If you're careful, I don't want to say careful because I don't want it to be fearful, but it's just being it's doing your due diligence, I think, and reading articles, which I've been doing, which I've made, like, have just helped me feel much better. And just being realistic, but being open as well. And I think with crypto, you cannot put the same thoughts and fears and old generational thinking around money. You can't do that.
No, you can't. It's about for me, it's about doing your research, and I try and drum that into all of my teams. And you need to research yourself, because your money is your responsibility.
It's
not mine. So do your own research. There's so much out there to learn. I'll guide you, but that's all I can do. But that you're right, Tosh, there's so much money to be made in this industry. It's absolutely crazy, and there's enough of it to go around for everybody. It's just about being careful. It's about spreading your risk. It's about getting, the money you originally put in. It's about de-risking and taking that back out. So, if things did go wrong, you've not lost anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's about spreading it over different platforms. And, we've never sort of, as young adults, we were never taught to do that. You're taught to sort of open a bank account, put all your money into a bank account.
For a rainy day.
And it's not, that's we're preconditioned again to sort of think like that, and it's really difficult to get out of that way of thinking. But I think when you get into this industry, it teaches you that there is a different way.
Yeah, and I think particularly for women, it's kind of hard as well. It's so like hard. Especially, and you've been a single mom, I've been a single mom. We know, we understand, what it feels like, and the fear around money. And it's not to diss anybody, but you turn up for jobs and like 10-15 quid an hour, whatever you want to do, and you're going to be slogging it till 9 to 5 on the hope that the pension markets are all going to be okay in the future, and everything else, and all your ISAs are going to do okay. And I'm not sure what's happening with anything at the moment, but it's certainly not where I would put my money. And I'm not suggesting that you do, but just personally, I am not interested in that. And because at the end of the week, you're knackered, got very little to show for it. And I don't know, life, what happened, and it's about thinking about a bigger picture about your life as well. Like, what do you want from your life? Do you want to own your house? I want to own a house. I want to buy a house. I want to have a secure future for myself and my children. I want to be able to, clear my daughter's student loan at some point. I would like to, help my son and my children put a deposit down for a house. I want to be able to do that. And currently, I was sitting there going, what am I doing? I'm busting it out the whole time. And
it's so attainable. And I think it's just for me, it's about showing people that it is attainable. I mean, for me, my dream is to buy my house outright by the end of next year. And I'm on target to do that. And I've only been in this industry for a year. I've made a lot. My portfolio has grown hugely. I won't give you figures, but it's on target to do the things that I want to do. And my motto now is, I don't work for my money works for me. And that's how I live my life. And I think we've had these conversations, Tosh, about being rich, and wanting to be rich is a bit of a dirty word. Well, not anymore in my vocabulary. I'm quite happy to say outright, I want to be extremely rich.
I know. Me too. I'm with you totally.
And if I have abundance and have a lot of money, I know that I will help people with that.
Yeah, exactly.
And the people that I will help people. So that's just has that knock-on effect. And you know, it's just making the world a better place in a financial sense.
Exactly. And it feels like the you know, we've kind of, you know, oh God, over the last year, we were talking about this in 2021 for anybody who's listening in the future, is like, you know, we're really growing the community in the sense of looking after each other, but actually it has to be monetarily as well, because there cannot be such a disparity between those that have and those that haven't anymore, because it's just not conducive to good living, to good community, to looking after each other. And yeah, this whole thing around abundance is very powerful. And it's like, you know, we get caught up in the whole like, oh, don't spend it all at once, and you know, all these money fears that are handed down from generation to generation. And here is like an opportunity, with care and caution, of course, to actually walk into your financial fears and go, do you know what, I can either sit here and do my 9 to 5, which is fine, and get my pay packet at the end of the month, or I could go, do you know what, I could step out my financial, and I think it starts at like $300, is it?
$300. It's about £250 is the starting point.
Yeah, that you say, do you know what, I'm just going to see how this goes, and just to go with it. And that's what I did. And as I say, I mean, both Yvonne and I have kind of been around this kind of area. I mean, certainly you have far more than I have, but for me, it's just been a really exciting last few weeks. So yeah, that's definitely.
It is. It's really exciting times at the moment, and I think it's gaining momentum. There's more and more people becoming involved in this, and more big companies. And you know, when you think about the amount of millionaires in this world, it's such a small percentage. But why? There's enough money to go around for everyone to have a really high standard of living. Yeah. And that's how it should be. We're all equal.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and it's, for me, it's about getting that out there now and helping people to do that.
Yeah. So thankfully I was very happy to reconnect with you again and to have these chats over the years, which is lovely. And I know you come from a good place. We both have the same thought processes. We both have the same values, which is really, really important as well, because with any industry around money, there's always going to be people who haven't, or purport they have. But, you know, you and I come from a place where, you know, we do good work to help people. And, you know, you're a therapist as well, which is also lovely. So I share that space with you as well. And this is kind of why I'm going to sell this group. I created a group called Women Who Love Money. And it's just to be that brazen where you go, do you know what? I absolutely have a sovereign right to be wealthy and abundant and to live a lovely life happily, not worrying about money, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning going, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, jobs are, you know, the job market is scarce. And we just thought, do you know what? We want to give something back and use what we have and our knowledge and experience and reputations and put it on the line to help you. And so that is where we're going with it. And that's why we're recording this podcast, which I'm just hugely happy about. So I just want to kind of go through things, a couple of things with you. When we talk about platforms, do you want to kind of just talk about some of the terminology around crypto? Because it's like this completely weird,
it is
completely weird world to anybody who's they kind of know about it, but it's like, oh my God, where do I find out about it? Which is why obviously you and I are talking.
There's so many different terminologies in the crypto world, and I actually do for my team, I do something called crypto lingo, and every so often I'll give them a term and explain what it means. But different platforms, so you have different trading platforms. So one of the biggest ones in the world, and probably the most well-known one, is the one called Binance. And it's where you can trade your money. You can put your money in there and earn decent amounts of money on your savings, but you can also trade in cryptocurrencies. You can also use Binance as a platform to send money to other crypto platforms or wallets. So like you said before, a crypto wallet is somewhere where you hold your money. It's a secure place, a digital wallet where you hold your money. So it's like having your purse, but it's digital. And then you'll get some things which are platforms and wallets, so they do a bit of both. So they'll hold your money as a security, but you can also trade some coins on there as well. I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to scare people off.
Yeah, and I think it can be, it can be a little bit overwhelming, even just explaining the whole concept to people as well. So yeah, and then we have obviously the forex trading as well, which is
forex trading is very different, and to be honest, forex trading is so any money you've got in your bank account is what the banks will do with your money. They will trade it on the foreign exchange, so they're trading in foreign currencies such as the dollar, euros, any other foreign currencies. So this is what forex trading is. It's just companies using your money on the foreign exchange, but paying you really healthy profits.
Yeah.
The banks don't do that. The banks actually cost you money. They don't even ask your permission to use your money on the foreign exchange. And that's how banks make so much money. They don't just put your money in a vault and stick it there and leave it there for a couple of years. They're trading your money constantly.
And asking you to pay to do transactions. And I think we were talking at the weekend.
Really you to do that. And that's the big difference. So forex is a great place for anyone wanting to put their toe in the water and start, because it's quite an easy process. You have to open a crypto wallet, but there's some really simple, nice wallets now available.
And I can testify to that.
Very, very easy to use. You put your money into your wallet and then you move it over into your crypto. You open an account with the crypto, with the forex people, and then they trade your money for you. And all you have to do then is download your profits every week. And that's
what
great.
I loved is you don't even have to do the downloading. You can just set it up so it just comes back into your account. Because what I want simplicity. Because if it gets too complicated with money and all that other stuff I've got to do, and we live busy lives as well, and it's and single parents as well, we live busy lives, and it really is about kind of going, okay, what works for me, what is easy. So I mean, I put on the group, I put a post on the group, and I sort of screenshot my email I got into my account on my inbox on Saturday, just saying, just want to let you know we have paid you this amount of money for this week. And I was just like, oh, amazing. How lovely is that? It's easy.
It's so easy. And it's a real, like you say, it's like dipping your toe in the water. It's getting into that world without getting too heavily into it straight away. Obviously, the Forex is paid in Bitcoin, which is probably the currency that most people have heard of is Bitcoin. But then you can transfer that straight back into sterling and you can put it back into your bank account.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a big worry, isn't it? I think people go, oh my God, once it's there, it's in that different world that I don't know about. I could lose it, or I can't get it back. How do you get it out? And that's one of the big questions that people ask, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I'm doing what I do now, and obviously you're going to start doing what you do as well, Tosh, is to show people how to do that in an easy way. I've been doing this for over 15 months now, and I'm starting to show a lot of different people how to do it, and people are putting their toe in the water, but they're getting really excited and going that little bit further and that little bit further, and it's really nice to see that. It's nice to see that people are really starting to take control of their destinies, and actually, you can make your dreams come true. They're not actually dreams anymore. These dreams can become realities, and I live that.
Yeah, and totally, and I think that's our kind of quite a shared vision for us, is the fact that actually, it's not about having your manifest board and going, I want this and I want that, but oh my God, how am I going to do it every month or whatever? It's actually like going, do you know what, this can happen? And what I particularly love about, and people might argue there's not a lot to love over the last year, but what I particularly love is this whole recalibration that has happened in the world. And there are opportunities, as with anything, that if you want to take that step forward, it is there for you. And that if you're noticing that you're feeling fearful and you're feeling it in your body about, money and what am I going to do? And you're happy to stay with that rock in your stomach of money fear, that is okay.
Yeah.
That is fine, because that is your body and that is your life and that is your waking up moment every day worrying about it, if that's what you do. Or you can turn around and go, do you know what, I'm just going to trust that I'm worth a bit more than this, and that actually if the opportunity, so for example, if you've heard this podcast or for some reason you've clicked on, you're listening to this podcast and you go, do you know what, this spoke to me, this is a nudge, maybe you might keep seeing crypto or whatever, that you just might just go, actually this is the nudge, this is, you know, you and I are a nice, good, kind people, and we want to help people be part of this and share as well. And whether you do crypto, whether you do forex, whatever you do, it's about, you know, us encouraging you and supporting you.
It's about helping people. It's about keeping people safe.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely. It's a big world out there, but you know, if you know the right people, you can do things very, very quickly, and you can really empower yourself by doing this. And that's what I feel I've done. I feel completely empowered. I sold my business after 15 years last year, which was a huge thing for me to do. And I have got the best work-life balance now. I was working like 50, 60 hours a week for a long, long time. And that was the norm to me, because that's just what was expected. And now I don't work anywhere near that. And the work I actually do now, I really love and enjoy. So, you know, I'm a massive believer that it's about taking that control of yourself and doing something about it.
Yeah. And how empowering is that? And I think actually that is what it's all about, is, you know, I think for me, what came to the like crunch was hearing somebody who's been on my kind of radar and who follows me on social media, and they were just so petrified. They were getting to sort of their late 50s and they literally did not know how they were going to start living their lives going forward. And they literally go, what can I do? So I would say, if you are that person and you want to have a chat with us, and this is not a sales thing at all, it's a genuine, we want to help, we're here. And you know what, I'm okay because I'm making it on I don't have to rely on anybody else to help, you know, be helping anybody else. But that's like the paying it forward as well and paying it back. So.
And I think as well, Tosh, it's about, there's a lot of myths out there about the crypto world and the forex world, and a lot of these things that people are saying are very, very untrue. So again, it's about not believing everything you hear, and about speaking to people who you do trust, who are in this industry and living it and doing it, because you know, crypto is here to stay. And within the next 10 years, everybody will be using crypto, whether they like it or not, and whether they even know it or not. Banks are getting involved in it now. Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Amazon,
Goldman Sachs, I think eBay.
Huge companies. It's not going away. I always used to say there was a tipping point for crypto, and it's gone way over that tipping point now, and there's no going back with it. It's getting bigger and bigger, the industry, on a daily basis. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think a Banksy was paid for by crypto at Sotheby's.
Yeah.
So, you know, not, you know, it's just very curious, but that's not always the stuff you hear unless you're in the industry and you're kind of reading what comes up in your daily news feed on the crypto, on the wallets, which is kind of what obviously you and I
and that's great, and that's what I love doing. I love showing people the real stuff in this world. And you know, I do a lot of research because I enjoy doing that, and send a lot of articles out that I read to other people to read, and sort of, and then make the decisions themselves. Again, it's about empowerment and making that decision yourself.
Yeah, totally. It's exciting, and we're kind of we're right at the beginning of it, really. So, you know, I guess anyway,
now's the time to get into it.
Yeah, totally. So we'll put our links under the show notes, and if you've got any questions, you can give us a shout, or if you've got any you know, any questions, and I'll put and I'll put the link into the group underneath as well. So come and join it. It's, you know, as ever, I run a very mindful, non-judgmental kind space. So just have a go. And, you know, what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose by finding out more? Or you can just kind of, you know, if it's not for you, just leave it for another few months, and who knows what might happen in another few months. So but it's also about that fear, you know, fear of missing out as well. So just notice if you're doing it because you're like, or actually because you genuinely want to improve the quality of your life as well.
Yeah. Fab.
Thank you so much for being here. I really love
you.
talking to you, and thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.